Hello everyone and welcome to our latest edition. A warm welcome to all our subscribers who are watching our videos as we learn the use of CATIA software. Like in the previous videos, I actually urge everyone to go through our videos because again and again a reminder that all our future videos will be based on the knowledge of the past videos as well. To use the commands by installing the software on your laptops or computers and have a frequent practice of all those tools which will be helpful for us. As we were learning different aspects of the Sketcher tools, we will first of all open the Sketcher, and this time we are going to open the Z-Explain. So to open the Z-Explain, I will click on the Z-Explain and then the position sketcher option. As we can see, V is in the vertical direction, H is in the horizontal direction. So clicking on OK, the plane will get opened up. We have discussed all the options present here in the profile. Then we will now move our attention towards the constraints dialog box. And now, as I have told you, we have seen a short introduction of the constraints dialog box. Here we have seen how a particular geometry is constrained, that is, it's given relation to the origin of a particular geometrical element. So if we have a triangle, say for example I have drawn it in the third quadrant, so every point present in this triangle should have a relationship with the origin, so that we are on the safer side while we create geometries. So to use make sure that we have a particular geometry with the safer side, we have to define it with the origin. We can just simply double click, or we can just simply single click, and every time if we want to define the geometry, we will have to go back and well. So now I will click on the point present here. I'll click on the point and then I'll click on constraint and then I'll click on the origin. So here it is. This point is now constrained, that is, it now has a relationship with the origin. Now as we can see, it is a angular length that has been given. It is not vertical, neither it's horizontal. So I just simply right click on this and we will have dimensions which could be used in vertical as well as horizontal direction as well. I will just simply do it once again, as we could just make sure. I'll just get it, and now if I right click, I have the horizontal major direction as well as the vertical major direction. Once I click on horizontal option, here it is, I get the horizontal direction. Once again, if I click and if I define it, and if I go on the constraint dialog box again, and once again I will get the diagonal direction. But if I right click and then I click on vertical, I will get the vertical direction as well. Now this point is constrained, that is, it has a relationship with the origin. Similarly, we have to create a relationship between this point and this point. Now remember, if I use the incremental system, then I simply have to define dimensions, so from this point. And if I use the absolute system, I actually have to define this point with respect to the origin of the system. So if I go with particularly, it is not important for us to have the dimensions overlapping because we are still in Sketcher, so it doesn't make a huge lot of difference. So if I go here and if I constrain it, we are using the incremental system, so even these points get constrained. Whereas if we constrain this point by origin by selecting it, we just simply have to select the point first of all, and then we will select the constraint option, and then here it is. Now this point is constrained with respect to origin, that is, we are using the absolute system. This point is constrained using the absolute system as well. Now even here we can simply define it as vertical direction and horizontal direction as well. We have constrained this point by using the incremental system. You can use any system, but make sure that two lines pass through one single point, and every single point has a relationship with the origin, that is its constraint. Once it's constrained, it will always look like this. So make sure that you use a constraint dialog box. Now let us have one more example of how constraints have been given. This time I will draw a diagram in the fourth quadrant, and before that, here it is. I will draw a circle. Now a circle can be constrained by two means. You have to define the radius as well as the center. So if I double click this time, I simply don't have to go every time. I have to give dimension and then go back and click. If I double click it, it is okay. Now what I have to do is I have to define this point with respect to this point. Now again, since we have taken 2 points, it is a diagonal direction, inclined direction I should mention. So if I right click, then we have the horizontal direction present here. So we will give the horizontal direction. If I do it again, if I click the center again, we will have the vertical direction as well. Here we can see the vertical direction. Now that this point is constrained, however, the circle is not drawing because we haven't constrained it in terms of the radius or the diameter. So if we click on the circle itself, here we can see the diameter appears. As we can see, now the circle is green because the center has a constraint, whereas the circle itself has been constrained by its diameter as well. So while using a circular parts, we have to make sure that it has to have either the diameter or the radius, and it should have a relationship with the origin. So this is how we constrain a circle. If you directly draw a circle at the origin, it automatically is constrained. However, you simply have to define only its diameter at that time, and here it is, it gets constrained. So what is constraint? Constraint is actually creating a relationship of a particular element with the origin. So this is how we constrain it. And however, if you keep one of the circles and you don't constrain it, it's okay. It doesn't make a whole lot of difference, but to make sure that you give dimensions so that you can have a really well-defined geometry when you work out with different parts. So this is how we constrain a circle. We will now learn how to constrain. We will now learn how to actually constrain different geometries. We will constrain a rectangle. Here it is. I will delete this option. Okay, now we will learn how to constrain a rectangle. So this is how we will first of all draw a rectangle in the first quadrant, and then we just simply have to constrain it, double clicking it, and then simply clicking on, either you can choose the vertical line as well. So this is how we constrained it. So now guys, if we have moved anything in this particular manner, it gets moved. So if we want to bring it in a 90-degree, we can use this particular option that is present, that is a normal view, which gives a perpendicular view. Here we can see the lines become greener and perpendicular as well. So remember, blue line always represents either a horizontal line or a vertical line. So if we click on a blue line, we will get a horizontal line as well. So these are the few things we need to learn. Again, double clicking, and here we can see we can now constrain it. We create a relationship of this line with this. Again, if we use the incremental system, then we just simply have to use this system as well. So while now we have used the incremental system for the horizontal dimensions, we will now use the absolute system for the vertical dimension. So let us define this by directly. You can just simply do it whichever way you want, but make sure that every single point has two lines passing through it and every single point is constrained. So boys and girls, we might well have learned how to use the constraint dialog box. Now how to actually change the dimensions, it is again really simple. This time I will choose a centered rectangle, or rather we shall be going for a centered rectangle, and we will just make sure how we constrain it. So you must be knowing that it is 101. If I want it to be 100, you just simply have to double click on it and then it opens up, and then once it opens up, choose 100, press OK, it becomes 100. Again double click, choose 120 and then press on OK. It's how it is well been defined. So this is how it happens. You simply have to click on the figures and you will get a dimension. Now about a circle, again it's really simple. A circle is created, you define a circle, and however if you want to put on the radius, double click, it will ask you the option diameter or radius. You just simply have to create, choose anything, and you just simply can give anything. We have chosen the diameter, let us give it as 100 and click on OK. So we'll get because it is white, because it doesn't have a relationship with the origin for now, so it is white. So this is how we have learned the constraint option. So that is the geometrical constraints, the option that we will be learning in our next video. We hope that you are enjoying our videos. Keep in touch with all the videos, it will be helpful for you. Practice all these steps. Constraints are one of the most important aspects as well. So we hope that you enjoyed today's video. Join us again next time. Until next time, from me, it's a goodbye.